What if I told you that one of the largest territorial disputes in South America is taking place in a region most have never heard of? Yes, we are talking about the Essequibo, a stretch of land that has been the bone of contention between Venezuela and Guyana for more than a century. So, what makes the Essequibo so significant? Well, it's not just about the land. This area is a treasure trove of biodiversity, rich in mineral resources and brimming with hydroelectric potential. In essence, it's a geopolitical prize that these nations are vying for. Now, the geography of the Essequibo is as intriguing as its history. The region is isolated with virtually no land routes between Venezuela and Guyana. The dense jungle and towering tepuis like Mount Roraima create formidable natural barriers. The only road connection between these two nations indirectly passes through Brazil. Quite an adventure, isn't it? This makes Brazil an unexpected yet crucial player in this geopolitical puzzle. Its territory serves as a bridge between the disputing nations, spotlighting Brazil's strategic importance in this ongoing saga. The roots of this dispute are buried deep in the annals of history. The contention dates back to an arbitration decision in Paris in the late 19th century. The aim was to establish the borders between Venezuela and then British colony, Guyana. But Venezuela has always disputed this decision, alleging flaws in the process and accusing imperialist interests behind the arbitration. It's a tale as old as time where borders are drawn and redrawn, shaped by colonial influences and international disputes. So this is the Essequibo for you, a region rich in resources, enveloped by an impenetrable jungle and embroiled in a territorial dispute. It's a tapestry woven with threads of history, geography and geopolitics. And at the heart of it all is the crucial role of Brazil, a nation that finds itself in the middle of this complex chess game. This is the conundrum of the Essequibo, a territorial dispute shrouded in mystery and intrigue. A story that unfolds in the vast green expanses of South America and a narrative that's yet to reach its final chapter. The seeds of this conflict were sown more than a century ago. A puzzle that began in the late 19th century, the Essequibo dispute traces its roots back to an arbitration proceeding in the city of love and revolution, Paris. In 1899, a tribunal of arbiters, under the auspices of the Russian Tsar, gathered to delineate the borders between Venezuela and the then British colony, Guyana. This decision, however, left a bitter taste in Venezuela's mouth. Venezuela, from the outset, has voiced strong objections to the Parisian ruling. The nation alleges that the arbitration process was flawed, tainted with bias and imperialist interests. According to Venezuela, the British Empire had undue influence over the proceedings, leading to an unjust allocation of territory. This historical grievance has fueled a territorial claim that remains unresolved to this day. But the Essequibo dispute is more than just a bilateral issue. It's a vivid illustration of how colonial influences and international disputes have shaped the borders of South America. The lines drawn on maps by European powers often disregarded the cultural, ethnic and geographical realities on the ground. These arbitrary divisions have sown seeds of conflict that continue to sprout, even in the 21st century. The borders of South America are not just lines on a map, but living, breathing entities that have evolved over time. They have been shaped by a complex interplay of historical forces, from the conquests of the Spanish and Portuguese empires to the wars of independence that swept across the continent in the 19th century. These historical dynamics have left their imprint on the region, shaping its geopolitical landscape and setting the stage for disputes like the one over the Essequibo. The Paris arbitration is a stark reminder of the power dynamics at play in the creation of national borders. It underscores the role of international law and diplomacy in resolving territorial disputes, but also their limitations. When a nation feels that its voice has not been heard, that its interests have not been considered, it may choose to challenge the established order, as Venezuela has done with the Essequibo. The Essequibo dispute also serves as a case study in the challenges of nation-building in a post-colonial world. It highlights the difficulties of reconciling historical grievances with the need for peaceful coexistence and cooperation among nations. It's a delicate balancing act, requiring not just legal acumen, but also diplomatic finesse and a deep understanding of the historical and cultural context. Looking at the Essequibo dispute through the lens of history, we can see that it's not just about a piece of land. It's about identity, sovereignty and justice. It's about the struggle of nations to assert their rights and protect their interests in a complex and often turbulent international arena. And so, a line drawn in Paris continues to reverberate across the South American continent. But there's more to Essequibo than lines on a map. You see, the Essequibo region is a veritable treasure trove of nature's bounty. It boasts of an exceptional array of biodiversity, teeming with unique flora and fauna. This natural wealth is not just a testament to the richness of life on Earth, but also a precious resource that needs our protection. The Amazon River basin, of which the Essequibo is a part, is often referred to as the lungs of the world. It's a critical carbon sink, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen, playing a vital role in maintaining our planet's climate balance. But the Essequibo is not just about the birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees. Its underground is equally rich, laden with mineral resources, including gold, diamonds, and even bauxite. These resources, while economically valuable, pose a significant challenge to the preservation of the region's ecosystems. Unregulated mining and the associated deforestation could devastate the region's biodiversity, contaminate waterways, and exacerbate climate change. Now, factor in the geopolitical disputes over this region, and the challenges to environmental conservation become even more complex. The contention between Venezuela and Guyana over the Essequibo adds a layer of uncertainty to the fate of its ecosystems. How will these nations balance their territorial claims with the need to protect this ecological gem? How will international law account for the environmental implications of the dispute? These are questions that don't have easy answers. Furthermore, the Essequibo is home to indigenous communities who have lived in harmony with nature for centuries. Their traditional knowledge and sustainable practices are invaluable in preserving the region's biodiversity. However, their rights and livelihoods are potentially threatened by the territorial dispute and the prospect of resource exploitation. In the grand scheme of things, the Essequibo region is not merely a piece of land to be won or lost. It's a living, breathing ecosystem that holds immense value for the planet and its inhabitants. It's a reminder that when we talk about territory, we're not just talking about soil and borders, but also about the life that thrives within and the responsibility we have to protect it. Thus, the Essequibo stands at the intersection of geopolitics and environmental conservation. In this game of chess, Brazil could hold the key. The South American giant, boasting the largest landmass on the continent, finds itself in the middle of a geopolitical conundrum. Its position bordering both Venezuela and Guyana transforms it into a potentially decisive player in the Essequibo dispute. Let's talk about geography. Brazil's state of Roraima emerges as a potential land corridor between the two disputing nations. This state, tucked away in the northernmost corner of Brazil, shares borders with both Venezuela and Guyana. The implications? Well, in a region where land routes are scarce due to dense Amazon rainforest and towering tepuis, Roraima could provide a crucial pathway in this territorial dispute. What's more, the Lavrado biome in Roraima presents itself as an ecological rarity and an unusual access route through the dense Amazon vegetation. This vast savanna, punctuated by gallery forests and rocky outcrops, could offer a strategic advantage, serving as a conduit for any movement between the two countries. The game of geopolitics is often shaped by the contours of the Earth itself, and this is no exception. The geography of Brazil, particularly the state of Roraima, could significantly influence military and diplomatic strategies. It's not just about who controls the territory, it's about who can access it, who can traverse it, who can make the most of its strategic position. Beyond the physical landscape, Brazil's role in this dispute is also influenced by its political landscape. As the largest economy in South America and one of the world's emerging powers, Brazil's stance on the Essequibo dispute carries weight. Its potential to mediate between Venezuela and Guyana could be a game-changer, shaping the course of the conflict and the future of the Essequibo. However, Brazil's role is not without complications. Its own internal politics, regional alliances and international relationships all play a part in determining its position and actions. Navigating these complexities is like walking a tightrope. One misstep could have significant repercussions, not just for Brazil, but for the entire region. The Essequibo dispute is a reminder of the interconnectedness of our world. A territorial conflict between two nations becomes a regional issue, implicating neighboring countries and drawing the attention of global powers. And in this intricate web of geopolitics, Brazil emerges as a potential key player, holding the power to influence the course of the dispute. As we delve further into the Essequibo enigma, we begin to see the pivotal role that geography and geopolitics play in shaping our world. From the dense jungles of the Amazon to the corridors of power in Brasilia, every element has its part to play in this intricate game of chess. In the Essequibo dispute, Brazil is more than a bystander, it's a potential game changer. The future of the Essequibo may well be shaped by the actions of Brazil, a testament to the power of geography and the complexities of geopolitics. In the Amazon, rivers aren't just waterways, they're lifelines. They serve as vital arteries of transportation, exploration, and even conflict. In the context of the Essequibo dispute, these rivers take on a strategic importance that can't be overstated. Take, for instance, the Cuyuni River. This waterway could potentially offer an alternative route for accessing the Essequibo, bypassing the dense jungle and tepuis that make land travel so challenging. The Cuyuni River, with its winding course, cuts through the disputed territory, linking Venezuela and Guyana and offering a potential pathway into the heart of the Essequibo. Throughout history, rivers have served as natural highways across the vast, often impenetrable expanses of the Amazon. They've been the routes of explorers, traders and conquistadors, shaping the human narrative of this region. Even today, they remain critical transportation routes, providing access to remote communities and resources. In the Essequibo dispute, these rivers could once again play the role of strategic pathways. Imagine the possibility of riverine diplomacy, where negotiations and interactions might take place not in boardrooms, but on the decks of riverboats, against the backdrop of the Amazon's breathtaking beauty. Still, it's not just about access. The rivers of the Amazon, including those that flow through the Essequibo, are lifelines for the local communities and ecosystems. They're sources of food, water, and livelihood for the people who inhabit this region. They're also critical to the health of the planet, playing a key role in the global water cycle. These waterways, then, are much more than potential routes into the Essequibo. They are symbols of the intricate ties between humans, nature and geopolitics in this part of the world. In the Essequibo dispute, they serve as reminders of the need for careful, considerate diplomacy that respects not just national interests, but also the rights of local communities and the health of the environment. In a dispute that transcends land, the rivers of the Amazon may hold the key to the Essequibo. They offer a potential pathway to resolution, but also a reminder of the interconnectedness of our world and the importance of protecting its precious resources. The Essequibo dispute isn't just a South American issue, it's a global one. As our gaze shifts from the regional to the international scale, we find the involvement of global powers like the United States and the United Kingdom. These countries aren't just spectators in this territorial tussle. They are active participants, each with their own stake in the outcome. The United States, a long-standing ally of Guyana, has thrown its weight behind the smaller nation. The US's interest is twofold, with both economic and strategic aspects. On one hand, American oil companies such as ExxonMobil have vast investments in Guyana, particularly in the oil-rich waters off the coast of the disputed Essequibo region. On the other hand, supporting Guyana serves as a strategic move against Venezuela, with which the US has had strained relations for years. The United Kingdom, too, has a historical interest in this dispute. As the former colonial power of Guyana, the UK has a vested interest in the fate of its former colony. Moreover, the UK was the one who brokered the controversial Paris arbitration in 1899, the fallout of which continues to echo in the present conflict. These international interventions add a layer of complexity to the Essequibo dispute. They transform a regional argument into a global one, with the Essequibo becoming a stage where the power dynamics between nations are played out. This is not only about a piece of land, it's about alliances, resources, and strategic advantages. So the question remains, who holds the right to the Essequibo? Is it Venezuela, who has claimed it for over a century? Is it Guyana, who currently administers it? Or could it be the global powers who have a vested interest in the resources and strategic location of this region? As we delve deeper into this geopolitical enigma, one thing is clear. The Essequibo is more than a territory. It's a symbol of the intricate web of international relations, a testament to the influence of global powers, and a mirror reflecting the complexities of our world. In the Essequibo, the world watches as power dynamics unfold. The Essequibo is more than a piece of land. It's a symbol of geopolitical tension, environmental conservation, and global power dynamics. This South American enigma intertwines a territorial dispute between Venezuela and Guyana with the crucial role of Brazil, underpinned by the region's rich biodiversity, mineral resources, and hydroelectric potential. The complexities of this conflict harken back to an arbitration decision from the late 19th century, with its echoes still resonating in the present day. The Essequibo's exceptional biodiversity emphasizes the urgent need for environmental preservation, even amidst geopolitical tensions. The strategic importance of land and river routes connecting Brazil, Venezuela, and Guyana further underscores the intricate layers of this dispute, and the intervention of global powers adds a dimension of internationalization, framing the Essequibo as a stage where global power dynamics unfold. Subscribe to our channel and share your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. As we unravel the enigma of the Essequibo, we are left with more questions than answers, a testament to the region's enduring mystery and intrigue.